What's going on, guys? Noah Sanford here, coming at you guys with a Thursday fishing report. As usual, we're going to keep today's episode very brief and straight to the point so we don't waste your guys' time, but we do give you the information that you're going to want for this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday going into the weekend for bass fishing on Lake Mead. So starting off, let's go ahead and talk about the water temperatures. This whole week I've been finding right around 70 degrees. Depending on where you're going to be at in the lake, if you're in a little bit deeper water, you might find 68.5, 69 degrees. If you're up in a shallower, sandier cove, you might find 71, but for the most part, the water temperature is pretty consistently about 70-ish degrees throughout the rest of the lake. We're going to talk about that in just a little while, why that's important and what that means. When it comes to the wind conditions, the wind looks absolutely great this weekend. All 3 mornings are supposed to be flat calm. Going to get just a little bit of a breeze in the midday to afternoon, but nothing unmanageable, whether you're on a boat or a kayak or from the shore. The wind should not be bad at all. The weather itself is going to be absolutely beautiful this weekend. It's supposed to be like mid 70s, mid to high 70s, I think, for like all 3 days. It's going to be, I think all 3 days said they had a high of 76. So get out there early morning. You're going to want that sweatshirt. Come about 7 or 8 o'clock. It's just going to be beautiful weather the rest of the day. So definitely take advantage of at least one of the days this weekend if you guys have the opportunity to. The weather should be great and the fish should be biting. Let's go ahead and talk about where I've been catching these fish recently. So like we were talking about with this 70-degree water, a lot of these fish are starting to pull off of those shallower areas and they're starting to pull onto those main lake structure type areas. So I was actually out this evening and I caught a majority of my fish on those main lake wind-blown points and not really in the backs and the calmer sections of those coves. So a big factor why that's happening is because there's less bait up shallow than there used to be the last month or so. So a lot of those bass are transitioning from that shallow area where they're feeding on that bait out to those main lake and those deeper points and those bluff walls, those type of areas, because it's where they're finding their forage right now, mainly crawdads. A lot of the fish that I caught today were coughing up crawdads, and you could tell that they were just down there on the bottom, eating on that stuff down on the bottom, mainly crawdads. And so definitely keep that in mind when it comes to going out this weekend. You're probably going to want to target more so of those main lake or those centers of coves type area as opposed to those shallow areas. Now, that's only contingent if you're fishing in an area where the shallows do not have bait. If you still have areas in the lake where you can go up shallow and you know there's going to be a school of bait fish, you definitely still want to take advantage and you definitely still want to hit those areas because those are definitely going to produce fish as well. If you don't find the bait fish up shallow, it's always going to be a safe bet to pull off into those main lake areas. Fish in like that 15 to 25 foot range, you'll definitely get some of those bites. Fish in those crawdad type imitating baits down on the bottom. I know we kind of just talked about what we're catching these fish on, so a majority of what I've been fishing these baits or fishing recently when it comes to the bait selection. When I'm fishing out deep and on those main lake points and structure areas, I'm mainly either throwing like a Ned rig or a jig. Those have been doing really well for me too. I'm sure anything else would work too. Shaky head, drop shot, worm, anything like that that's going to be down there fishing slow on the bottom, you're going to do all right with. And then when I'm fishing up shallow, the topwater bite has not been great for me this week. However, it doesn't mean that you're not going to have a topwater bite. I definitely try it still. But when I'm fishing those shallower areas where I know there's some bait and some actively feeding bass around, the jerkbait has been working wonders for me recently. I just filmed a video this evening where we put an absolute clinic on some of these smallmouth fishing the jerkbait. So you guys are going to see that in the next couple of days when I put it out there. Jerkbait's been doing really well for me too, but that's not to say you can only catch them on a jerkbait. Any fast reaction bait, jerkbait, spinnerbait, square bill, anything like that, that's kind of in that shad imitating pattern, you're going to do well on. So there's a brief overview for Lake Mead going into the weekend. Definitely get out there if you can, guys. The weather's supposed to be great. Water temperature is pretty good for November right now. It's definitely a little bit warmer than in years past, and it's keeping these fish active. It's keeping them feeding. The fishing is good right now, so definitely get out there if you can. Appreciate you guys always coming along. If you appreciate and like these videos, make sure to leave a comment down below. Hit that like and subscribe button. My name is Noah Sanford, and we'll see you guys out on the water.